Hey there, Coach. I've been Chris Thomasson, joined by Woodsboro coach Johny Lesak. First off, Coach, thanks for joining us.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we're now just a week away from kickoff of the season. Just give me a sense, first off, how's it been going in camp, and what are you seeing out of the guys in the scrimmages?
Uh, Everything's going pretty good in camp. We have one of the things I'm most excited about is we do have a fairly young team, but our young guys are responded well to coaching, and in the two scrimmages they've held their own and stuck in there without trying to back out or miss out on any of the action. So that's a good thing for us because we're gonna have to depend on those guys on Friday nights, and just our whole group out here is it's really exciting to have a group of kids that want to be out here and want to get better, and they're focused on doing the right things and taking care of their business everywhere we go. So
Yeah, that makes sense. I noticed there was a little bit of inconsistency last year. Some blowouts kind of for you guys and against you guys. The team. So, do you kind of want to see more of a consistent play out of them on a week-to-week basis?
yes, that's kind of what actually you hit the nail on the head. It's one of the things that we talked about all through the spring and summer and going into camp is, we most places I've been historically we're pretty good on defense, and last year that wasn't really the case, and we want to make sure we shore that up. And then, offensively, we had some games last year where we would, we might run for 300 yards, but we put the ball on the ground 5 times and we'll get no points. So we want to make sure that we're taking care of running around and tackling on defense, and we're on offense. We want to get off the ball and possess the ball and make sure that we don't, we run time off the clock and we keep the ball in our hands and get some in the end zone, hopefully.
Yeah, it sounds like turnovers for offense a big key. Defensively, you mentioned trying to fix some things. What were some of those specific things you trying to work on defensively?
One of them mainly just being what we just talked about was being consistent. We had a last year we had a slew of injuries, and just throughout the season we would have to move people around on defense and try to plug and play, which is as you're doing that gets to be quite the problem for being consistent and being able to tackle every week and be good at what we do with the way offense is played now. When you don't get those looks consistently in practice, and you don't get to practice the skills it's going to take to play a spot on defense, you can be in a bind in a hurry. And we're trying to make sure we do a really good job this year of getting our kids as many reps as we can. And we did a good job in the spring and the summer trying to have our kids in the weight room and try to do as much injury prevention as we can as we go. Taking care of ourselves throughout the week, and just being able to have the same kids play the same spot each week, I think is going to help us. And right now we've been able to do that the last two scrimmages, and I feel like our kids, having done that, have done a really good job of being really aggressive on defense and flying around with the football. So that's where we've been focused, and it looks like it's on track right now. So we got to continue to do a good job as coaches, make sure we get those reps during the week.
Absolutely. Hopefully that translates to the regular season. Last year they were in a 4-team district, so you still want to see improvement, but at the end of the day, you're going to be in the playoffs. This year, though, you got a couple more teams coming in. La Villa, Ben Bolt dropping down. So, what are your initial thoughts on the district?
My initial thoughts are it's going to be there's some really high quality teams for our division in our district. La Villa coming in and Ben Bolt coming down, those guys were able to compete at the Division I level, and they've got a lot of their kids back, and they're always competitive anyway. And then within our district that we already had, Bruni's been tough every year, and Agua Dulce's got a pretty special group of players right now that's a big group, and they're talented, and they got a good coaching staff over there doing things right. So it's this district really is all the way across the board, whether it's top 10 in the state or in middle 50s. So the ones we have in our district, the competition level is going to be very on par for everybody week in and week out. So it's going to be tough for whoever does make the playoffs, especially whoever does win the district. It's going to be tough to get those spots.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining me for this season preview. Good luck to you guys, and you guys take on Bloomington at home next Friday, right?
Sure.
All right. Well, we appreciate you. Looking forward to getting out there some and covering you guys this season. Good luck.
All right. I appreciate the call. Thank you.